Ugh. All right, cool. Oh, whoops, wrong thing I want to cover. There we go. I'm running out of water. I'm gonna be right back with that. I need to hydrate. Hydrated. You guys will hydrate. I'll be right back.
Hydration. Oh yeah, James, didn't you say you weren't gonna normally be free on the weekends?
No, it means I work till like 9, so I don't get home.
Oh.
Like, so I'm just not available as early as I usually am.
Yeah, that makes sense. Aren't you like dead tired though after working?
Yeah, I'm just like scrubbing trays and
You're
cleaning.
scrubbing?
Yeah, like there's all these meat trays that have to be like the meat has to be cleaned up.
Well, I mean, yeah, but aren't you on your feet all the time?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
not
there's no-
exhausting?
Yeah, there's no sitting involved.
I guess I'm just surprised you're here still. I remember when I was on my feet all day, I would be exhausted by the end of the day. But, well, I guess I don't know how long your hours are. I work 10-hour shifts.
Well, I work like 8-hour shifts, but it's still 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean, that still adds up, so. Don't get me wrong, I love that you're here. I was just surprised.
I am tired. Don't worry, I just realized I'm still wearing my name tag.
I got a new roommate currently on the stream now. Oh.
Roommate? What?
I think she wants out.
Meow. Meow.
Meow.
Oh, I heard it.
She comes in and be like, I sniff around. Wait, the door's closed. Let me get out.
I mean, yeah. Oh, cats are. They want to be with you, but as soon as their escape is blocked, they're like, let me out!
Is that what your cats do?
It's too cramped in here!
Yeah, this dog goes in and out of my room like several times. In the span of, like a few hours. Eventually she settles down and goes to sleep, but like
Aww.
she'll go into my room and then out of my room and then into my room and out of my room.
Yep, just checking on you.
I'll go lay down to sleep and she's like, oh, let me out. And I'm like...
That's why you have like a doggy door.
In the house.
You always have doggy doors.
Yeah.
What about your cats, Lissa? Do they always do that kind of thing?
I mean, yeah, I just said that. My cats are always like that. It's especially bad because they hate it when you go to the bathroom without them. He'll like push his way in or try and like jump on the door handle and open it. So he'll follow you in and he'll like kind of like, yeah, sniff around or rub against you for a little bit, and then he'll like go sit by the door or start pawing at the door, being like, okay, are you done yet? Let me out, I'm done. And it's like, no, you came in here, so you gotta wait.
Do they, like, when you take a shower, Alyssa, do they
Oh no, it's fine when I take a shower, because they hate the sound of they hate how loud the shower is, and they also don't like getting wet. Although when he was younger, before he realized what it was, he would come in and kind of like try and get in the shower, and then he'd realize it'd be all wet, and he'd like sprint, and he'd be like, ah, it's wet.
Luckily, Bagheera, Mike's cat, doesn't do that, but at times, like, literally no, like, here's the problem. His cat is black. So, every time, like, the lights are off, the hallway lights and everything, and I'm like, oh, it's nighttime. And then, like, I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night kind of thing, just to wash my hands or, like, go use the bathroom or stuff like that. I sometimes get out, and then, like, literally, there was a couple times this apartment where I would be like, I opened the door, and I was like, I'm just going to my room, and then I literally kick her, and she'd be like, meow, and it's like, why? Like, she would sit right in front of the door.
Yeah,
like, now I have to.
About right.
Now I have to be like consciously, like, open the door, look down, just like, where's the stupid cat?
Like, you know, there's a bit like you can't like sleep on the couch or something, or a cat bed.
There was one time, like, Mike's cat actually, because I was sleeping on the couch, and I had I was sleeping on my side, so my arm and belly was open. The cat actually went in the middle of that, and then just like slept with me. And then when I finally woke up, I didn't realize she was sleeping right next to me like that, and I was like, oh, what happened?
I've accidentally kicked by a cat off the bed before, because he used to love sleeping with me on the bed, but he would sleep in the little nook in my knees where my legs would slightly bend. He just loved laying on my legs. I don't know why, but he just liked laying on my legs. And most of the time it'd be fine, because I'd like realize he was there before I'd go to bed. But one time I went to bed first before he was even in my room. And then I remember in the middle of the night hearing a thud and a hiss, and I wake up and I realize I accidentally kicked him off the bed, and I felt so bad. I actually got up and went to go find him because I just felt so bad.
That's funny.
I felt really bad about that, but you know what, that only happened like once or twice, and then my body knew not to do it anymore, even in my sleep.
I like to toss and turn in my bed a little bit. So there are times where, like, I remember one time when I had a dog, and what was this one? Oh yeah. There was a time where I had like a dog, and I was like sleeping with him for the first time in my room. But I like to toss and turn, and there was a time where it's like I wanted him to sleep on the floor, because there was like I believe there was a chance where I'd be like tossing and turning so much where I'll be like I might have squished the dog for a little bit. And so I was like, yeah. I always like genuinely be careful of it when I can. Sure. I got some peach rings.
Ooh.
As Jamie calls it, the goods.
The goods. You got the goods.
Remember back in Stack 8 where,
Everything was the goods.
well, not just that. Well, Jamie would buy like a huge bag of peach rings. And it would just be like, I got the goods, everyone. And it would be like, acting like she's the drug lord or something.
Yeah. Having a good old time.
She had actually mentioned that she actually missed doing that for all of us. Back in the day.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
She was like, I miss doing that for people. And it's like, I wish that we could go visit to Washington and give people the goods. And I'm just like, yeah, I
Wow.
would like that too.
Yeah, that would be nice, but it's easy. It would be easier for us to go visit them than for them to come over and visit. Unfortunately.
That is unfortunately, like, it costs like a few $100 to get a to get the stuff, and then to get tickets, and then we have to pay for like hotels.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, and now they're a family of 4 with 2 really little kids, so
Kind of sad I never got to personally see the little chunky man when he was a baby, but I get it.
oh, yeah. It was an unfortunate time.
Mhm.
I mean, not that he was born, but when he was born was an unfortunate time.
Days of the week.
But we'll have to. What?
Oh, hold on. I sorry to interrupt, but Days of the Week 7. Thank you for the raid. We appreciate it. How you been doing?
Holy parade!
Raider. Days of the Week.
Woo!
Thank you for the follow too. There your eyes. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you're playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That's a bit surprising. Is this like you guys decided to do a random Pokemon game or something? How you been doing? Welcome. How's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Did you just start playing it, or you like are doing that? Thank you for the follow. Shimezel. 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 I'm butchering names because I can't.
Gaming.
Schmizzle Gaming. I think that's what it is. Schmizzle Gaming. Thank you for it. Mystery Dungeon. Yeah, we actually on a Pokemon Glazed. Oh, it's a ROM hack. Okay, nice. Just call me Maz. You know what? I'll call you Maz. Yeah, no, not too bad. Like, yeah, we were just talking about random things right now. Off topic, but yeah, I'm playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. To you know is that this is like my first time technically playing Mystery Dungeon. I already beat the story of this game, and I'm just doing a lot of post-game content. So that's just where I'm at right now. So if you were just curious about that, it's all good. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, no. By the way, Lissa, sorry to interrupt you. What you were saying again?
No, that's fine. I'm not sure if I remember. Oh, I do remember. I was I was just gonna say we need to find a time to go visit them as a small group. Just maybe a few of us, but it has to be a time when Jamie is able to take time off work.
Oh yeah,
Or like
for sure.
A day or something.
Yes. No, not a day, like a couple days at least.
Well, a couple days would be nice, but I don't know.
I know it's a couple days would be nice,
their
but
situation is.
I mean, with everyone's schedules, I think couple days would be best for her. Plus, since she hasn't seen us in like forever.
Yeah, it's been what? At least 4 years?
Something like that.
Something like that?
Bro, it's okay. Beware of monster houses. Yes, I have dealt with monster houses. This is why I have orbs to deal with it. Oh my bad. No worries on caps. I get like people are maybe excited or like, well, I hate to come and go, but I have to get. Thanks, Maz. I hope to see you again another 2. I hope you take care. Thank you for the follow. Days.
Sorry, we couldn't say your name.
Yeah. yeah, both of you guys, thank you for the raid. Thank you for dropping by. Hi, Runaway. And everyone, well, hope you guys have chill. We're just chilling right now. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna play this game for the rest of my time, which is probably maybe like 2 hours. I don't plan to go on too much longer because it's getting kind of late. So yeah. Yeah, take care, Maz, and I appreciate you dropping by for the raid and everything. And everyone else who sticks around, you guys can lurk. You don't have to feel like chatting or anything, or need to get some sleep or do something. Like, go for it. I actually don't know where people, because I've talked to people all over the world to a point where I don't even know where people are. Listen, I pick.
You know where do I exist?
You exist in Antarctica, actually.
Oh, that's a cold place, James. How are you surviving down there? Existing?
He's eating expired food.
What?
Do you not actually know that about Antarctica people back in like actually down there?
Oh, you mean the researchers? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I know about that.
Yeah.
In their little huts, and they only get supplies every like month or so.
No, not every month. Every year. Once every year.
Oh.
You have to do it for like 12 months, and they actually eat expired food.
Well, yeah, they kind of have to. I thought they did it biannually.
I think maybe biannually, but I know that a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, this chocolate bar is like 6 months old or something like that, or like some canned food. Yeah, it's like it's so preserved down there that it's still good enough to eat.
Well, all they have to do is like fucking go outside and shove it under some snow, and it's good. There you go.
Yeah, it's funny that because like they also still have their what was it, their old like original Antarctic research food storage there with some of like the original like ketchup and stuff there.
So weird, but hey, you know, it's an experiment.
It
See
is.
how long ketchup lasts.
Yeah, I am. So to give you guys idea, I am literally like I have a lot of like items, and I am using some of them to what's this? I am using some of these items to. I have 3 pages of max elixirs, Jesus, to get rid of some of my items. And yes, I have a lot of TMs. I never bothered to use them. I'm just.
Jesus Christ.
Look at this. Look at this. Look.
What is this?
I think I have
God.
like. I think I have like almost double. Like there's a couple that are just like. I have only one of, but there's like I have like almost a copy of every single one I have in my inventory. I'm just like, jeez, what am I doing? At this point, I just gotta keep going with it. And I do use a lot of my orbs for some of these items, mainly because like when I go to the bosses areas, that's where it's like, oh yeah, you can't use them at all. My favorite movie ever is my favorite movie ever is set in Antarctica. Wait, what movie is in Antarctica?
Oh yeah, there is a movie about kind of the researchers or researcher down in Antarctica.
Well, okay, there's multiple movies in Antarctica. Are you I'm wondering at this, but Runaway, are you a horror fan? Are you like a fan of the Thing? Because that's the only Antarctic one, I think. But there's also like Happy Feet. That's set in Antarctica, I believe, right?
The anime? Animated?
Anime, of course.
Penguins?
Yeah. That is in Antarctica.
I thought that was on like a tropical island.
No, that's Surf Up. That Surf's Up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, different, unrelated.
Which
penguins.
are also penguins.
Oh, it is yeah. I knew it. That is like the biggest movie I can think of that is in Antarctica. I actually never saw.
The only movie I can think of that's in
Well,
Antarctica.
the thing is like I never watched The Thing two reasons why. It's old.
You
so
don't like horror.
I don't like horror. That's another reason. It's like and it's also old, so I never got around to actually watching it. I don't know. I'm just not a big horror person personally. This is especially like modern horror movies. I really don't like horrors stuff. Older horror movies are a lot more unrealistic, so I can kind of see like the fake CGI or like the fake practical effects kind of thing. So it makes it less believable on my part. I'm not a big horror, but I like John Carpenter movies. Hey, that's fine. And that's fine. I definitely am just like, I don't like horror at all, really.
Have you ever seen The Birds?
No.
I think I had to watch The Birds in English class.
Bird is a word.
Basically, the whole premise is like birds are just like slamming into people, like just.
All being assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they're just basically like suiciding into people or something. Like, I don't know, I don't get it.
That's an interesting premise for a movie.
Like, they'll just like see people and just like slam into them, like, and trying to kill them for some reason. And it's just
Birds, the Hitchcock movie. I think that's what he's talking about too. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. Are they trying to eat people, or are they just spitefully like killing themselves? To attempt to murder?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a big difference. Just fighting and being like, oh, there's a human. I'm gonna go run into them. Versus, oh, there's a human. I'm gonna peck their eyes out and eat their flesh.
Birds.
This message is self-deleting?
What? What are you reading down there?
Oh, okay. Oh, what the frick? That job just deleted itself.
What'd you do?
Because apparently I have to explore to get like a special item called the ice flute. Will I actually do that though? So it's like the thing
Sounds
is
pretty fun, the ice flute.
well, here's the thing is that I don't ever plan on playing more of this game outside of the main story stuff, based pretty much because I have a love-hate relationship with the Mystery Dungeon games, and it's just one of those games that is more frustrating the more I play it, mainly because it's a game that has very unbalancing and unforgiving things. And I wish it had better balancing. Like, I really wish it did. Otherwise, yeah, no, it's just a rough game altogether. But I like the concept. I wish it could be a lot better. Now I actually have to do a few things. I don't think I'm ever going to get that ice flute. Unless I actually need it for a story. Miss Mount Bristle is what I want to go to. Client executor. Execute? Oh, execute.
Are you okay over there?
No. Speaking of like more like horror-esque movies. No, I don't want a Geodude. I already have plenty of Geodudes.
Dude, the Geodude.
No, I have plenty of Geodudes. Fun, like, speaking of horror movies, I'm actually gonna be watching most likely the Five Nights at Freddy's movie with Kyle and Sean.
I forgot, yeah, you said you were gonna do that.
It's gonna be a weird movie, that's for sure. It's
well,
one of the
yeah.
It's one of
considering what's it based off of.
I mean, I like the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, but it's such a convoluted lore now.
Oh, jeez, there's so much about it to go with.
I still watch Markiplier's playthrough of it. Have you seen the new Markiplier playthrough, Lissa?
Wow. I'm not saying my name correctly, for shame.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
How new are we talking?
Like the newest one.
But, but when did it like come out? Like how new are we talking?
Like last week.
Oh, then no.
That's the newest one.
Well, yeah, I didn't know he made a newest one last week.
It's
That's what
because
I
like
mean.
it's because the security breach DLC came out like last week or something.
Oh, yeah. I
A couple
remember
weeks
you
ago.
talking about that.
And I was like, oh sweet. And I watched it. I will say it is a lot better than what Security Breach did. It's linear, but it proved that that's what Five Nights at Freddy excels at. It's a linear gameplay and story.
Yeah.
Have you watched a Security Breach playthrough?
No. I've just seen snippets.
Yeah. I'm not a... I've only played Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I only beat the 5th night. I never went back and actually beat the custom night or anything like that.
But you were there.
Yeah. By the way, we're gonna avoid using anybody's real name on stream without
Okay.
that isn't
Sorry.
with permission. Yeah, no worries.
But so you've seen it, even if you didn't actually play it.
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen all the Five Nights at Freddy's like games from start to finish. So I know all the lore and how convoluted it can get. But I beat Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And we all got help with Five Nights at Freddy's 1. I mean, that was an accomplishment and a half for our friend anyway.
Yeah. Didn't you also get help in beating number 2?
No, I don't think I did. I got like I got 2, and I know like, here's the funny thing. I beat 2 like 5th night. I remember this distinctly. I beat the 5th night of 2 without dying once. And it was like, oh, that was such a big accomplishment, but I never recorded it in any game. The only person who saw it was like basically Sean, except he would probably tell you that he forgot.
Not give you the satisfaction.
Yeah. But I do remember actually beating that from start to finish. At least
Dang.
up to the 5th night. I didn't beat like the 6th night, and I think I own the 3rd one. But I never touched it. And then I never really played the Five Nights at Freddy's games ever again, really. I just been watching other people play. Mainly because it's like, I don't want to go through all the stress of Five Nights at Freddy, because like, the aspect of Five Nights at Freddy is like still kind of RNG based, and there's like a bit of aspect of, I dislike RNG based gameplay, because if it's like heavily RNG based, it just ruins a lot of the skill. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy is still relatively skill based, but not overly.
Yeah, well, it's not too much fun if it's literally just RNG and you have no control over anything.
Mm-hmm. Ah, the golden chamber.
What are you doing?
Fly.
Killing flies?
It's like a tiny fly got into my room again. I got an AC going on. I should cover every single, like the. It should. I should be able to cover everything, but it's so weird.
If it's like the little gnats, they can get in through the screen. They're so small.
Yeah, but
Or
the issue is
any
like there's only one
gap.
hole is that it goes through my AC, which is currently on right now, which would kill them.
Well, they can probably squeeze in between or underneath the doors, or whenever you open the door to leave the house, they can come in. They get in everywhere.
You know what? I keep
Everywhere.
I keep going to Golden Room. I really should just grab the. What I should do is get a ghost Pokemon, and then because they can float and go through walls, and I think having a ghost Pokemon is most beneficial for stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, ghost Pokemon are great. Should get a Gengar.
Should I name it Lissa? Actually, I think I might have named something Lissa.
Well, I don't know if I'd want you to name the Gengar, Alyssa.
Why? You love Gengars.
I do love Gengar.
So why wouldn't you want to be a Gengar?
I don't know, man. Just feel like I could come up with a better name.
What kind of Pokemon would you want to be then? If you were isekai to the Pokemon world and then you had to be a Pokemon, what Pokemon would you be?
Jeez, I don't know, man. It's a hard question.
Not that hard.
I mean, well, I love Gengar, but I feel like I'd probably be more like an Eevee or maybe a Baneri.
Neri.
What would you be?
Rodom. Just absolute
that?
silence. What?
I said, why is that?
Because then I can possess different electronics, play pranks on people, and then spy on other people and also steal their data.
Of course. It's all about the pranks.
Well, it's also I can blackmail people because I can steal their deepest, darkest secrets with their phones and Pokédexes.
Oh, spiteful.
I mean, that's what Rotom is at times.
I mean, yeah. That's what they all are. I mean, Jigglypuff is one of the most spiteful Pokemon around.
Mm-hmm. Jigglypuff, you said?
Jigglypuff. Ooh. What am I doing?
James, what kind of Pokemon would you be then?
What kind of Pokemon would I be?
If you were isekai to a Pokemon world, but you were forced to be a Pokemon, what Pokemon would you be?
I think James is having trouble deciding.
Why don't you just say God?
Swamperts are cool.
Swamper?
Swampers are pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Swamp people. Just...
And then
You know, I really liked Scyther when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah. Slash and everything.
I think Caesar is cooler than Scyther now since Caesar was introduced. But no, Caesar and Scyther were introduced at the same time.
Yeah.
I think Caesar is still definitely better than Scyther.
Probably.
I thought Caesar was introduced in Gen 2.
It is Gen 2. Scyther and Caesar were introduced in the same generation. I keep forgetting. I don't remember.
Scyther was in Pokemon Snap, which I thought was Gen 1 Pokemon.
Was it?
I
Oh,
thought
actually,
he
yeah.
was Gen 2. Is he
The
not?
Steel type wasn't a thing in the first gen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, maybe you're right, Scyther. Oh, you maybe know why. Maybe Scyther was more introduced in Gen 2 because of Bugsy. And that Scyther was only got in like the Safari Zone. And I never got any Pokemon in Safari Zone just because of how ridiculous they are. Like Chansey, for example.
Oh, yeah. Chansey!
It was stupid how difficult. Heck, like it's still I've gotten more used to it, but it took me forever to understand that Pokemon like Slugma and Metacargo and like Larvitar, Pupitar, and Larvitar, Pupitar, and Tyranitar and Mischievous are all like Gen 2 Pokemon. They're not Gen 3 Pokemon.
I don't know, man. They all start to blur together after a while.
That's only because you don't pay attention.
Well, yeah, because they all started to blur together, so then I stopped. I don't know anything. Well, that's a lie.
You don't
I
know
don't know
anything?
most
Well, I'm gonna
things
teach
past,
you of the
like,
meaning of life.
4th or 5th.
Hold on, let me see this. Actually, I'll delete this. I have a better place to do. Technically, I could do that. It's gonna be a pain, but I'm gonna do that.
Let's do it!
Let's do it to the limit.
And we're in it to win it, in it to win it.
Oh yeah. I don't know how many people actually know that kind of song and movie.
I don't know, man. It was a good song, but it's old.
Don't say old. It's making me
I know,
feel
we're
real.
old.
Real. Dude, it's like almost 20 years old, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Why do a lot of our childhood stuff is now starting to be like the point where they're 20 years ago, and it's like 20 years ago still feels like it's 1990s, not
Well, not early 2000s.
yeah.
I mean, because we're already in the 2020s.
I don't
so-
want to believe it.
Oh my god, Nick, we're old. We're almost in our 3rd decade.
We're about to be grandma and grandpa.
Oh god, no, don't say that.
Kids
Yikes.
get little grandkids.
Grandkids. So if your sister or brother has kids and then they have grandkids, what would those grandkids be called?
Like your siblings' kids, grandkids.
Yeah, siblings, grandkids.
Well, your niece would
they-
be grandniece or grandnephew. 'Cause, like
Yes.
your kids or your siblings' kids would be your nephews and nieces, and then one generation down from that, you just say like grandniece, grandnephew.
God, I miss the 80s. You know, I never grew up with the 80s, but there's a lot of 80s stuff that happened that I wish I kind of got into too.
Ooh, dude, 80s music. It's really good.
There's a lot of 80s nostalgic games, and heck, 80s also was the start of a lot of startup companies. Like, well, then again, 90s were also there too. Apple and like other like big places started in like the 80s and 90s. So, sometimes I feel like I wish I was
Born earlier.
yeah, born a slightly earlier so that I can grow up in the 80s. Or I was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s and then like 2000s, and they'd be like, oh, I'll be like so much easier to getting jobs and like all that stuff, because back in then they wouldn't be fact checking so much about you.
Oh, that's why.
Yes.
Also, you didn't have like AIs pouring over your resume, auto rejecting you because you didn't have the right words.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the requirements and just be like, yeah, you have to meet every single one of our requirements.
Like 5 years of experience required for an entry level position.
Oh God. Don't remind me.
Actually, Runaway, that's actually a thing. Like, I always talk about me like wanting to be born a little bit earlier. Why would you want to be born a little bit later? So near the end of the 80s. Wow, you're slightly older than us. Because like
I think it's just one of those things. You always want what you can't have.
I mean, it's like it's like I'm grateful for when we were born, because we were like in like I feel like we're in the dead middle of a lot of like generation changing. We're like,
oh yeah.
we're like
we still remember what it was like technically without computers or cell phones, but we grew up with them in a sense anyway.
yeah, exactly. Like we are in a generational change where. Yeah, because like we grew up with like floppy disks a little bit, or like how dial-up and stuff like that was, and I'm just like,
Where
technically,
CDs were still the norm.
yeah, and like
MP3s.
DVDs are yet to be like invented, kind of thing, like
Oh yeah,
there are things.
VHS tapes. That's
Yeah.
where it was.
Yeah, and
Going to Blockbusters.
oh, Blockbuster's Hollywood videos, yeah, like. I remember those, and I just feel like, but it's like at the same time we were too young to do a lot of stuff on our own, and then when we were old enough, we were like in a mid-generation, like it's like a lot of people are like getting like different feelings of generation changes. Let's see. Had more fun in my 20s than getting older kind of sucks. I mean, to be honest, that I feel like that's normal.
Everyone.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I had a lot of fun in my early 20s, and now I'm.
I mean, same thing with me too, but I didn't do as much in my early 20s. There's a lot of things I wish I did in my early 20s, and I regret personally.
Yeah, there's a lot of things looking back on it now I kind of wish I would have done, but I mean, the thing about it now is that I can like do a lot more things. I'm not restricted either by age, or I mean, I'm still restricted by money, but I'm less restricted by money issues. So I have the opportunity to do some more things that I couldn't in my early 20s. But in terms of like time and responsibility, I had a lot more fun in my early 20s.
Same, yeah. I mean, there's probably like still a few things Runaway you were able to do since you are older than us. You were able to experience more things than either one of us have, because again, like all of us pretty much in the call are in our late 20s. We're getting to our 30s. I don't feel super old yet, but it's not far away and sad. I get wanting to be born earlier because it's experiencing cool things. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things like earlier that we missed. Like I feel like in actuality, people who were born in like the kind of like the mid 90s to like early 2000s, that's like a weird generational period, I would say. Like
It's just because like the entire like society shift was kind of during that time.
Yeah, because like there was the millennial change, which was like what? There was like the end of the world thing, that was happening when the millennial
Oh
shift
God,
changed.
yeah.
Like I never knew about that, but then again, I was like 5 years old when that happened, so I never knew that that was a thing.
Well, the end of the world is a thing, like constantly.
Yeah, actually. And there was a lot of like there was like a lot of new stuff. Like 90s were progressing, but they weren't progressing fast. And then 2000 started progressing faster with new stuff, like we mentioned, DVDs. Even the late 2000s, they started coming out with Blu-rays, which was a brand new thing. And then
Oh yeah, and they made a big deal about it.
yeah, and VHSs were becoming an like basically like almost like, if you think about it, Alyssa, the late 2000s was like a period of time, was like the last period of time where people didn't talk about retro stuff or like retro nostalgic or anything like that. It was when the beginning of the 2010s when people started like making more nostalgic stuff. I mean, like it was like the late 2000s where it's like it was like the end of like the non-nostalgic stuff, but then when they kept bringing back some things and like trying new things, or like bring back the like classic cartoons or anything like that, and they'd be like, oh, this is now we're in like a nostalgic type era, and we still are, kind of thing. I do miss before 9/11, war was not a thing when we thought about. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, because we've been in constant war since. But it's one or the other.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I now that you say it, I didn't really think about it. It was not until like 9/11.
Well, because it's not like, I think it's just become the norm, or it's not as talked about in the news anymore. But technically, yeah, whether it be one war or different, since 9/11 we've been in war.
I remember talking about this on stream, but for Runaway, like since you're new here, I remember because like 9/11 happened when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, we were real little.
Yeah, I actually legit, I feel bad about this, but I know people said like I shouldn't because I was 6 years old, but I remember when I remember seeing it on the news, and I didn't realize why my mom was so upset, because I remember I was in the same living room and my mom was there. I don't think my brother was there or my dad. I think my dad was at work. But when it happened, I saw it on the news, like the two towers like were, the World Trade Center was like smoking and everything. And my first initial thought was that it was some kind of cool action movie happening. And I was like, oh cool, this looks so cool, Mom, I want to see the set now. And I never understood why she was so horrified until much later when I was like, oh, this is actually a serious thing.
Did she not bother to explain that to you?
I think she was a little too devastated to understand.
She was in shock, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I know a lot of people. My mom was also in shock when she was watching the news.
You were in 7th grade science class, and I was so confused. I was legit home. I don't think I had school that day, which is why I was with my mom.
My sister came home early from school. I don't know if everyone did this, but I know my sister's school essentially sent all the kids home early because of it.
Oh, you've been here before the raid? Oh, it's probably been a minute.
It's just been lurking in the background.
Yeah, because oh, must have been like, okay, yeah.
Just hanging out.
It's probably one of those things like I didn't see your chat message before, yeah, but no, yeah, no.
Wow, ignoring people, Nick.
No, like the
so
thing
unprofessional.
Well, the thing is that the Twitch said it was a first time chatter, so I immediately went with the idea of like, oh, first time in my stream, but that's just my thing. My bad. Yeah, but yeah, no. Yeah, with 9/11 and like with all the war stuff, it's been yeah. I think my brother raided you a few months ago. Might not have chatted at the time. Oh, that's fine, too. That's fine. I get raided from
We like lurkers as well. I lurk sometimes. That's fine.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a requirement of people chatting with me all the time. If you like want to, if you're joining a raid and just lurk on my streams, I have no problems with that really. I get it when people just don't want to chat, and others really just want to what was it?
Just chill. Just hang out.
Yeah, really, just not do much, and it's like, okay, cool. So we wait, do I have to explore with Granville? Okay. Or is, okay, I got it. Yeah, and sometimes, and just chill and just lurk and just whatever, because like sometimes people just do that. Sometimes people fall asleep with my stream open.
I fell
Oh,
asleep
yeah.
to the stream before, and then I wake like, and then like I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, what? Where am I?
Where am I? Who are you? What's going on?
It's funny where I would be like I would stream back in the time when I used to stream for like 12 hours, and people would go to sleep, and then people will wake up at like 6 or 8 a.m. and be like, dude, why are you still streaming? He's like, oh, I'm just
Oh, yeah.
I don't do that
These were
anymore.
insane at that time.
I don't do that anymore. I did that before, but I needed to fix my schedule and everything. Year 6. Oh, wow, jeez. Days was looking for a Pokemon streamer to raid, so I threw your name out there. I remember it being cool name. Oh, yeah, no. For sure. Appreciate it, my dude. Yeah, I stream Pokemon from time to time. I don't do it all the time because I play a variety of games. So oof, that's bad. Yeah, I don't play it all the time. Okay. So it's been probably long. No worries, dude. Again, like, no worries if you haven't chatted or like haven't been here for a while. Everyone has times where they just pop in randomly at times and they don't anymore and all that. I love chatting with every variety of people too. But yeah, I played Pokemon games before, and I will still play Pokemon games. There are certain Pokemon games I just rather play on stream, and other games I just play on my own. Like Scarlet and Violet, I played and on my own because I had more fun with that playing on my own thing. And then, but Gen 6, like X and Y, I have never played that before. That's the only generation I've never played in any degree. So one of the ideas is that to actually stream me playing Gen 6, and I have yet to get to that yet. Actually, Alyssa, going back to the isekai question, if you were isekai'd into a video game world, where would you want to go to?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't play a lot of games I would want to be in.
Yeah, because you're a person who likes horror games like Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
And you can go to Animal Crossing and at least not die.
But does she like Animal Crossing though? That's the thing.
Well, you said it'd be a world you want to go to, not something you'd play.
True, that's true.
I suppose, yeah, that's true.
Or just The Sims. Well, actually, no, there's plenty of.
Don't go into The Sims when you have when you're not God.
I started off like purposely trying to kill all the ways to kill my Sims, so I still do it sometimes.
I never got into Sims. I have 3 and 4 and 2, but I had little reason. Gen 6 is really easy. I mean, I don't doubt you. I have always heard Gen 6 is easy. I mean, that's also when the Pokemon games themselves started becoming like really easy and handholdy. Not necessarily saying it's bad for like some reasons. It still doesn't give the same feeling as I love when I was like younger with like Generation 1 and 2 kind of thing.
Just a wee babe.
Yes, I'm a wee baby. I mean, I grew up with Generation 1, and Generation 2 is by far my favorite. Isekai into Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
80s Japan seems fun time. You know what? I will respect that personally.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be fun.
I never played the Yakuza games. I've seen like many videos of them, but I've never got to play them. I've been wanting to get it, and it's not like I can't get it. I am able to get those games. I see them on sale all the time. But I never got around to actually play anything. It's also that one of those things like, where do I start with Yakuza of all games? It's a long series. They're crazy. Yeah, I've seen them like
The crazy man.
I've seen them how crazy they can get. Especially since it's like I see that Yakuza like dancing videos and stuff like that from like the karaokes. I think that's like more of the closer recent Yakuza games. Dame yo, dame yo.
Yeah.
The main narrative games is super with side missions goofy. Okay, got it. Yakuza 0 is that's what I would figure personally. Yeah, because like Yakuza 0 I would assume like would be the beginning point for like that series, especially when it's called Yakuza 0. I'm like at times where I'm not sure if the game series have like canonical connections. I believe they do though, if I remember correctly, seeing some of the story aspects. I just do not know where personally where to fully start. I'm floor 10, so one more floor and I'll be okay. It's a prequel. They made it after the 5th game. Makes sense. They're all connected. Okay, so it's not like Final Fantasy where it's like, oh, they make them numbered, but they actually are connected.
Took 69 damage.
Yeah, nice. I like how also Final Fantasy is one of those like games that like it has such a legacy title.
The crowd of demons.
Oh my god.
Did you screw up?
Granbull did.
Oh no!
Was this 2 different quests?
It was. I didn't expect Granbull to be away from me, which is why this was like this. Ugh. I am restarting this. I do not care. I am not gonna try to have anybody rescue me.
Oh my god.
No, the issue is, Lissa, is that there are escort missions in this game which are by far the worst missions I've ever played in any game in existence, where the client, you have to bring them to a certain point in the dungeon where it's either be the easy point or the hardest dungeon ever, and they can go down to like 20 floors down. However, for some odd reason, the developers decided to make them like level 10 and go to any dungeon. And I mean any dungeon. So you're fighting like Pokemon that might be level 40, but you have a level 10 Pokemon that can die in 2 hits. And
Are they
always
do
placed
they cap them at level 10?
They cap them at like some weird low level and they die instantly, which is why it's so frustrating to play with them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I can never
separate from the group.
Yeah. And they go on the old way, and I'm just like, I can't. And when they die, they basically, I cannot do the job anymore. I'm basically out.
I mean, yeah, that kind of. I mean, that defeats the purpose of escorting if your client is dead.
You can jump into just about any of them, but it's rewarding to start from the early games in the story. Yeah, that's what I would do personally.
Oh yeah, get the full story.
Yeah. I'll definitely do something like that. You know, I'm deleting you, Granville. I really don't want to do.
You're so spiteful now.
I mean, it's one of those, like, it doesn't help where I can't do a mission. It's just a terrible decision, and I don't know why they decided to do something like that. I hate games that think that they're playing smart when it comes to like certain things, but it's just like, this is just one of those, like, it's horrible. I play a lot of games in my time. Also, I just realized I'm not showing the stuff. I deleted I deleted that thing, and I got this one, and I got this one. Cool. I'm just showing that for context. Yeah. Is Yakuza like your favorite series, Runaway? Because my favorite series, one of my favorite series is definitely Pikmin.
Oh yeah.
Pikmin 4 came out. I beat it 100%. I am happy. There's still some aspects of it I wish it did and didn't do, but can't really complain too much about it personally. Oh, you play Pikmin 4? Well, put it up there. Love it. Yeah, I am a big Pikmin fan. I don't have any money. Maybe if I sell one of my items. I mean, I could also kill the Cacleon if I wanted to. Yeah, Pikmin 4. I love the Pikmin series since like the beginning, Pikmin 1. And Pikmin 3 was pretty easy for veterans, but I think it was a nice introduction. The only issue I have personally with Pikmin 3 is that it's such a good introduction that Pikmin 1 is such a hard game personally, because just how it aged in terms of mechanics, and you might understand it if you play Pikmin 1, how it's not an easy game for anybody to get into, but it's like, it's also a hard game to get into for both people who played any of the other series and versus like getting into the series. I played the original Pikmin when it first came out and haven't played any since until 4 came out. Oh, so you never played any other Pikmin? You never picked Pikmin 1, like 2 or 3? I want to go back and play 1 and 2 for sure now. Yeah, no, I played 1. I beat it on the Wii, my Wii U, because I have a copy of it, and it just ages, aged like milk. is what I would say.
Oh God. That's. Ugh.
It did actually age poorly because like the mechanics of it are rough. Like it's not a bad game and concepts are still there, but it's rough. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you lose in 30 days in game, and each day takes like about 10 minutes or something like that. Listen up.
Yeah.
And you have 3 Pokemon. Not the
sucks.
Pokemon, Pikmin. And here's also the issue with it. You have to micromanage in order to get every single part in time. You have to battle enemies which come back after a couple days if you are in the same area. And the hard part is though, is that there's glitches that are a bit rough around edges. Like I think my brother said they might have patched it out, but there are like glitches where Pikmin can go out of bounds, like underneath an object, and they technically go down and basically gone forever. It's harder to pluck and throw, and like it's basically the controls are delayed a little bit.
Oh.
So it's rough unless you are already used to that type of stuff, which I am. So it's just one of those things. Is like I can't exactly not recommend it because it's the first in the series, but if you play it after any of the other games, it might be more frustrating than it is just because of you're used to the newer mechanics kind of thing. 2,
Yeah.
so the only thing I say about 2 Runaway is that it's like Pikmin 4, because Pikmin 4 is basically like the Pikmin 2 of Pikmin 3. If Pikmin 3 was like 1, then Pikmin 4 is like Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 is only recommended, at least in my opinion, to veteran players or people who know the mechanics as the very basics of what it is. Because Pikmin 2 is brutal as heck. It has the most broken Pikmin of all time, which is Purple Pikmin. But if you're not careful and know some of the like unique strats, I say quote unquote unique strats because you kind of need to cheese some parts of the game in order to keep most of your Pikmin alive, if not all. And I would highly recommend with purples and whites because you cannot make them without going into the dungeons with their candy pop buds. They're rough. They're very rough. Like they spawn in random things in dungeons many times. You can go through like 5 rooms in the dungeon. They can spawn in like 500 different enemies or bomb rocks that instantly kill. It's rough. But luckily Pikmin 3 is a lot simpler, which is why I would recommend it as well, because it's fun. And the Pikmin 3 bosses are really cinematically good. I genuinely like them. No, you won't. I'll keep you up all night.
Yeah, I need to head out now too.
No, Georgie will. No, Pennywise will keep you up at night.
The interesting voice for Pennywise you got there.
Take it, Georgie.
That's fine. You can keep Pennywise occupied, Nick. I'm gonna go to bed.
I'll keep you both up all night.
Well, I'm tired.
Nope.
All right. Good night, you two. Take care. Have fun. Let's
Yeah. Good night, guys.
I'll see you next week.
It's fun. Oh yeah. See you next week. Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Not me.
You better be on next week.
I don't think I told you the first 2 weeks of August.
I know. First, you said first 2 Sundays, not necessarily every other one.
Well, we'll see about next week.
I demand.
Well,
Alright.
anyway.
Good night,
It
you
was nice
two.
chatting, by the way.
See ya.
Night, Nick.
Good night,
Night,
guys.
James. Bye.
Bye. Now it's just me and you run away. Yeah, I usually just chat around like random things. I have a goal to do for Pokemon EOS specifically. And that's mainly my goal is to what is it? My goal is to do the specific task for this post section, which shouldn't take too long because they've been so far one set of dungeons. I mean, I think the last one was like technically 2 or 3 sets of dungeons, but I kind of had the ability. I've been saving a lot of my gummies, so I bypassed one of the optional quote-unquote dungeons because I've been stocking a lot of my items. Now I'm just trying to get through stuff. I like Pokemon games and franchise, but the games really aren't the best. Yeah. I mean, I would argue like at least some of the older ones have been really, really good. Not all Pokemon games are the best for sure. I say all Pokemon games have their charm though, because like one thing I liked about like Scarlet and Violet recently is like they really captured the feeling of nostalgia and like relatability with their characters, and that's what I liked. I think still the best game of the franchise is like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Like this is like old retro games. The newer ones. What are some newer Pokemon games? Because I do want to see what's the list of Pokemon games that have been out. Yeah, because like the recent ones have not been the best. The Ares Battle Mario, yes, yeah. Legends Arceus had a really good idea, but it kind of falls short because of like its its rendering distance and graphics is kind of slowed down. But Arceus was definitely a really good step in the right direction for Pokemon. Diamond and Pearl was a huge step. Like it was like 20 steps backwards. I was like, Gen 4 was like one of my favorite generations just because I grew up with it with my brother. And when it got to the Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, I saw it and it was just like, this is just a one-to-one remaster. I was so disappointed. I haven't even finished it. I love I actually like Diamond. Like I actually like Generation 4. But holy heck, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was just, it's a sign. Legend Arceus is a game I've been trying to get into beating, so there's one of that. I like Scarlet and Violet. Ignoring the bugs and glitches and all that stuff, it's genuinely a fun game. Both Arceus and Scarlet Violet are like in the right directions for Pokemon games. I will defend them on that. And I will still defend them that there are fun, mostly fun Pokemon games. They're good, fun Pokemon games if you just look past the graphics and like the glitches and stuff. Sword and Shield, it was fun, but it was a little bit too simplistic in many areas. Like they went easy. Sun and Moon was kind of forgettable in my opinion, but it was okay. It was definitely rushed. Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, the only thing I don't like about it is the hold on, good. Turn off that so I can actually hear more. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, the only thing I don't like is that they didn't incorporate any Emerald stuff into it. And then there's X and Y, which is the first 3D Pokemon game, which, in terms of mainline specifically. Yeah, it's like basically DS era had like the highlight. It's a good step with making open world. It does have a lot of problems. Yeah, like, I get it. I'm not gonna deny the, the graphics or like the glitches what Scarlet and Violet had. I definitely think they're a huge major problem, and that Game Freak and Pokemon Company, like both of them, need to stop pushing a game like Pokemon every 2 to 3 years. I really am a huge advocate for Pokemon should be delayed to like maybe 4 or 5 years. Like, I am legit, like, no joke on this, like, I would be fine having a new generation game every 4 to 5 years. And that's like a new generation. So you can have like a new generation for 4 or 5 years, like Game Freak develops it from start to finish, gives them plenty of time, give plenty of development time, and then you get the new generation out. And then it's like you get that generation for a while, then you can like put the remake in there, and then like a new couple games like a Legends Arceus or anything like that, or you can just do your own thing like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, or even like a random spin-off game. I don't mind being all in the generation. I straight up don't. And it gives more time for like cards and stuff. Like, I think that is like, and for a lot of fans, I would probably agree with this because I think that's better. I think like there's RTV or something. ATV, it's ATV. Reference to Twitch Plays Pokemon, if anyone remembers that. Yeah, everything is way too rushed. I wish Pokemon was made in love for Tears Kingdom. Yeah, I say this in actuality in terms of what I believe and like what's going on behind. The Pokemon like license is such a garbled mess. Like, if you ask like one of the Nintendo representatives or the Pokemon representatives and ask like who owns the Pokemon like licensing, and then they will have to be like, what do you mean by the licensing? God, this fly. Like, what do you mean by licensing? And then you have to go into very specific. Like, you have to go very specific because it's owned by Nintendo for publishing. Pokemon Company owns it for like multiple franchises, and like there's all of it, and Game Freak owns part of it too. So it's like there's so much about Pokemon that is so split, which is why it's being rushed. Game Freak and the developers are talented enough to do it, but they're rushed to it. They even had like Tears of the Kingdom or Xenoblade people actually work on the games, but clearly it didn't show enough because they didn't have enough time to polish it. I was gonna maybe do Radical Red playthrough with Twitch Plays Pokemon theme. You know what? That is actually sounds really fun. I haven't seen Twitch Plays Pokemon in like forever. I remember watching it back in like when I was in uni and stuff. It was actually legit interesting to watch. I remember seeing some of it. I didn't see all like the big stuff. But yeah, like Pokemon, I love the franchise and I'll still buy many of the games. I really hope that a lot of like the Scarlet and Violet like controversies end up telling like a lot of the people to just not work on force people to not rush things. I'm gonna get all this stuff, so give me a moment. The lore community created around it was so much to watch unfold. Yeah, no, I actually legit love a lot of the lore that came out of Twitch Plays Pokemon personally. It was actually legit funny. I was not expecting that much lore. like how like Bird Jesus, all that, and like how like actually people, when it came to down to like the serious stuff, they all came together to actually play. I did get a couple commands in and all that stuff. Actually, here's a fun fact about Twitch Plays Pokemon Runaway. So I know that Twitch Plays Pokemon is still going on to this day, but more of like a gambling side thing, and it's not as big as it used to be anymore. Here's a fun fact. The time where when it was started like do the Pokemon Battle Revolution stuff where people gamble and like they can choose the moves and stuff like that, was actually really early on, to a point where one of my friends, like actual friends, his name is Paragon Greninja, and one of the funniest stories we talked about was how he was doing Pokemon Revolution. We were all in like university and we were just having fun, and he would sometimes bet on like things and be like, oh, he wants to bet on the lower end team or like the higher end team and stuff like that. And it was legit funny because it was a fun thing because like he was actually trying, but he was like always like losing some money and here and there. The funny thing is that one time I believe he had to go to like a bathroom for a little bit, and one of my other friends, our friends like Andrew, his name is Andrew, he sometimes pops on the stream and here or there, but he basically like he was like Greninja, like Paragon, was like he asked Andrew to bet for him because he was going to the bathroom and it's a live stream, they can't actually stop, so he actually told him like use it. And so Andrew, who is really chaotic, decided to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bet all your money. And so he bet all of his money, like a lot of it, and he somehow won a lot of money. And then he did it again, and then he won. He kept doing that, like I think like a few times, and he won so much money. Like he got millions of like Poké Dollars, to the point where he was like put Paragon Greninja like high up on the, like he was like the highest member up there, that to a point where he became so notorious that basically he would bet so much money that he would basically be the guy to control the moves, and he would always decide how to win, and he did actually pretty well on his own. And there were times where we decided we want to go get some money, and he'd be like, oh yeah, go on the lower end team and I'll purposely throw. Like it was so funny that some people actually got mad at him, and he became a little bit notorious on the web. We actually found his like name in the early days of Twitch Plays Pokemon, being like, what happened to him? Like he just disappeared. And it was just like, oh man, that was so funny. Obviously his stuff is like deleted and stuff like that in terms of like the Twitch Plays Pokemon account specifically, but it's one of the funniest stories where it's just like he, by sheer luck, he managed to get the most amount of money for a time being and became such a notorious player. A good player, but a notorious player. And that was just like, oh man, that I love that kind of story, because it was legit a crazy story. Yeah, though, it's and he still remembers it too. Like we always will remember it because of just how ridiculously lucky it had to be in order for him to even get to that kind of status. I will be genuinely surprised if there's anybody in the world who will still remember him for what he had done, kind of thing. And I'm just like this is why sometimes I feel like I want to ask people in like the Twitch Plays Pokemon community, just sometimes just be like, do you ever remember Paragon Greninja? Or like in his original Twitch name, because he changed his Twitch name before. and it would just be like it would be like, yeah, I remember that guy. He was a crazy nut. So yeah, that's like some of my favorite memories of like Pokemon in when I was like in uni and like younger. Like honestly, I still like Pokemon to this day. I mean, I'm playing Mystery Dungeon right now because I've always heard that this game was um, one of the best Pokemon games out there. And I like the concept. I like the story. Execution wise is a different thing. It definitely could have done better, is what I could say. Yeah, I wish Pokemon franchised itself. My brother's like way too much. Really? He likes this game specifically? Interesting. I'm fine with like Craggy Coast. Sure. I might just delete it later though. Hold on. No one here. Interesting. What do I have to do to activate this? Because it seems to be... yeah, he grew up with it, which helps. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to grow up with it. I remember seeing this before, and let me just double check something. I did a few jobs, so... Ah, there it is. Yeah, I activated it. But before I get started, but yeah, I saw this a few times and I grew up with it, and I've always wanted to play it, and that's why I'm streaming it right now. I don't own all the Mystery Dungeon games. In fact, technically speaking, this game is my only owned copy. I did play Super Mystery Dungeon a long time ago, but that's my brother's copy. That is not my own. I don't own any Mystery Dungeon. Oh no, that's a lie. I own Red Rescue Team now. I'm a game collector, so I own a lot. I'm actually in the process of trying to collect every single main series Pokemon game. I've owned Generation 1 and 2. I only own Emerald in Generation 3. I own oh, my brother owns Diamond, but we share the game. So I would say Diamond and Platinum are owned by possession, and you just need to get Pearl. And then White 2, White is the only game, but I need to get a White 2's complete box. I am missing a couple inserts for like Heart Gold, which I'm gonna see if I can try to find online. I know I found them before, but I never got stuck on getting them because they were always too expensive. And then there was and then Generation 6 is missing X because I got my brother's Y. And then Generation 7 we got all that copies. From Generation 7 on we got all that. I have just about every Pokemon game I ever bought and or received as a kid. Yeah, I still have a lot of the games. I never got rid of a lot of the games because that was one of the things. There is like an NES and like a lot of like games that my dad threw away because our NES broke, and I wish we kept because I had so much memories with like Paperboy and stuff. It was legit one of my favorite games as a kid, and I never got to beat it. I suck at it still to this day too. But yeah, no, I like this game, but again, I have a love-hate relationship with Mystery Dungeon because just how unbalanced it at times being. As I saw with Grand Ball, it sucks. All right, going with story, since it's been a little bit. Huh? What's going on? I wonder what's everyone's doing here. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Doof doof. They're really a real deal, my golly. Wow, can I get your autographs, please? Hey, Chatot, who are these host Pokemon? Huh? Why, there you go sticking your foot in your mouth again. That lovely trio is the Team Charm, the ultra-famous treasure hunters. Oh, didn't I play with these guys before? I feel like I did before. I have a box full of 100 NES games around here somewhere. Oh, dude, that is... That is something. Like my NES is like this is like one stack of my NES games. Like I know I need to get some covers for them of these, but this is one stack. I got a second stack, and I got like 3 boxes, and that's pretty much all my NES games with a few Famicoms. Some of these are really, really good, and I know that I wanted to get these for just partly rarity, and some of these were nostalgia. But I'm a collector, and I want to get like some actual genuine NES games because I want to play them. But some NES games are just so expensive and hard to get. Like I'm proud of like some of my games in my collection. I wouldn't mind showing you some of that if you're interested. Like I have like a lot. I have like a almost every single main Nintendo console, and I say almost because there's some main Nintendo consoles I don't have. I got most of my games before the skyrocketing price. Yeah, I got some of my games after the skyrocketing price, and I hate the skyrocketing price. I really wish the market crashed right now, partly because I would want to keep spending like $100 for some of the games I actually do want. I actually want to play the games, but I also want other people to actually play games physically when they want to too, because I like to play physical games. This Mystery Dungeon game is a physical copy. I have a K3S capture card, and it's freaking like over $200 for a complete price now, and I don't want to spend for these kinds of games. Really, I don't. One of the biggest games I spent like over $100, and I feel like it's very much worth is Chibi Robo on the GameCube. It's not worth $100. I think that's like a $60 to $50 game for what it's worth. I like to go with worth, not what it's like market price.
They've earned the Master rank, which is reserved solely for teams of extraordinary merit. As expert treasure hunters, they've discovered countless of treasures. Moreover, they don't just find treasures. Oh no! Strong, smart, and beautiful. The sheer style of treasure hunts is what makes them celebrities. In the middle is La Bunny. She's the gorgeous one in the long ears. Next to her is the serenely elegant Gardevoir. Ah, she is so beautiful. Finally, there's Metacham, who moves and flows as if she's dancing all the time. Irresistibly cool. Metacham is not that cute. But I must wonder, why would the beauties of Team Charm visit here? Hiya! Oh, Wigglytuff, darling. It's been a long time, sweetie. Oh, Wigglytuff, you haven't changed one. That's what I thought. It was Team Charm when I played the episode 1. What's your most valuable game, and what consoles do you like to collect the most? Ooh, okay.
Give me one. I know one valuable game, but I know you give another. So to go with the most valuable, in terms of specifically money-wise, I think this game would be the most. Shantae, I have the original loose copy, actual everything. I did ask for a change battery, so depends if people really care about that. But I have a loose copy of the original Shantae game. My ex helped me get this game because I was actually genuinely wanting to collect this. If you know the markets, this thing can go over to $1,000. Could have gotten like the holy grail of the Pokemon box, but yeah, I want Pokemon box and the GameCube. But I think some of the most valuable for like personal memory wise would be like my actual copy of Brawl. It's a little bit rough around there because it's probably putted everything, but this is my original copy of Brawl. This is only valuable because I have so much memories with this, and including Pokemon Red. And then the original Pikmin 1 and 2 would also be up over there in my collection too. Those are examples of like actual valuable games in my opinion because I have so much memories with them. I wouldn't want to give them up for the world if I had that choice. Like, if I really had to choose a game to get rid of, I almost feel like I would get rid of Shantae over any of those games because just how much memories I have with those games. Especially since some of them are like my brother and I like played a lot. And I don't think he would like me to get rid of some of his games too, because technically the Pikmin ones are that midnight release instead of all night play with some friends. Yeah, and I played it a lot. I played Subsistence Emissary a lot. I played online with it a lot. Like, same thing with the GoldenEye 007 on Wii. Like, I played that a lot, and I have so much memories with that. Like, that's it. But with consoles, I like collecting with Wii and GameCube. There's so many games there on the Wii that's like, I ignore a lot of the shovelware, but GameCube has like a lot of expensive ones, like Pokemon Box, as I mentioned, is like the holy grail of the GameCube series. And I'm just like, I don't want to spend $6,000, $10,000 just for a Pokemon box of a game for a full copy. Like, it's ridiculous. But I like to get them. But I've been in the mood of like DS and 3DSs recently. Maybe a little bit of handhelds like Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. But I think DS and 3DSs are like some of the bigger ones I'm getting now. But GameCube and Wii are always the ones I'm always looking after some games. So that's some examples of like what games I really am looking at. I had Jirachi and GameCube disc when it came out. Wish I kept that. I saw it for like $60, and then the skyrocket price game made it up to like 130. I'm just like, that is just a Jirachi bonus disc. I should have gotten it when it was like 60. I think it should have been like 40. What are some of your valuable games? Like, are you a game collector too? If you are, like, what consoles or like handhelds do you try to get for two? And like, what are some of your valuable games? Whether bad memory or all this stuff. Pre-order bonus, but yeah, that's what I remember too. Yeah.
Oh, Wigglytuff, you haven't changed one bit. See you like a guildmaster? Imagine that. That's amazing. It has been a long time, Wigglytuff. Yep, long time no see. Have you all been well?
Long time, you mean?
Guildmaster, are you already acquainted with Team Charm? Wigglytuff was a real go-getter back in the day. Like, growl. So how are you nowadays? Back when Wigglytuff was something else, no one could beat him. So cool. Ha! Guildmaster, how do you know the beauties of Team Charm? Well, they are my friends. Friends from a long ago. That's right, we were partners. Exploration team with Wigglytuff. What? The Guildmaster and Team Charm? So what brings you all here? So astute of you. We came about an important matter. Do you recall when we were exploring a long time ago that we found a mysterious key? At the time, we didn't know what the key was for. Well, we finally found out where it should be used.
Wow, I haven't played this story in like forever, so this is like, I don't remember any of this.
You see, we discovered a place called Aethys Cave. The key is perfect to fit the keyhole and its two entrance. It's Miller. It's said that the cave holds vast trove of treasure.
A vast trove?
A treasure? Say, Wigglytuff, darling, the key we found then, you still got it, haven't you? Key? What kind of key? I don't remember. Hey, we went through a lot of trouble to get the key. Are you saying you've lost it? That's typical of Wigglytuff. Some things haven't changed at all, it seems. Well, honey, it's time for our gift. I hear, Gardevoir. Here you go, Wigglytuff. We brought you a little gift. It's your favorite, a perfect apple. Wow, a perfect apple. This is for me? Yay, thank you. So, about the key. Oh, I remember now. The key, the one shaped like an unknown. I'll go look. That for you. Yum-ta! Ooh. Here you go. Yes, darling, this is the key. This will open the way to Aegis Cave. Thank you, Wigglytuff. Say, why don't you join us? It'll be like old times. Yay, a perfect actor, thank you. You really haven't changed. We'll be going now, sweetie. See you, Wigglytuff. Excuse me. Yes? May we go exploring with you?
Me too.
And me. Oh my gosh, I want to go too. And you, Roy? Would you like to go with Spencer?
No.
What? Why? It's a new treasure where we might find amazing treasure. Don't be so negative. Let's go explore with them.
No.
What? Why?
Okay, you're just making me have to choose yes. Earthbound is probably my most expensive. The label is scuffed, unfortunately. Oh, that sucks, dude. Actually, I've been wanting to get an Earthbound copy for a while, but because of the market skyrocket price, I've been holding off on getting it for so long. Like, I always see it around, like online and like within the retro stores I see. But, yeah, but Earthbound what used to cost like $100, I think $100, maybe a little less. And then it was like, it was okay. And then the market skyrocketed in price. And I'm just like, I really wish the market wasn't so bloated, because Earthbound would be a game I would love to get and just play. I've seen playthroughs of it and I wanted to play on my own. I have it on my 3DS and everything. I just wish it wasn't so expensive to get physically. I really wish. I want to play it on like the original SNES. I have a SNES. I have an analog SNES too. And it's just like, it sucks. But hey, you at least have Earthbound. I'm always a person who gets like the best conditions of games, and I don't like when I get like newer, like the games new for my collection. That is, when it comes to like old school games, like I have like if you look at this red version right here, there's like a mark, and see how faded it is. This is how often we've played it. Like, I still wouldn't buy another red version and replace this and sell this off, because I have memories of this version. Same thing with my Brawl. I mean, I'm a little bit nipped by the whole case, but can you see it? Oh yeah, there it is. You see, like there's holes there, and I'm just like, it sucks that it happened, but I still wouldn't trade these copies for the world, because these are the copies I played as a kid. Hey, you gotta unlock SNES randomly too. You bought it for Forever and $60. I would have bought Earthbound for $60 if I had to. Like, but it was over 100. I was like, it's $60. I would have put my money down. Like, you have an analog SNES too. I have it too. Same thing like that. And I actually own one of my most expensive consoles. Is as expensive as like a Series X and the PS5. Freaking, like, if you know what this is, it's the NT Noir, because I've always wanted an analog NES one, and they said that this was like the only chance to get them now. Last chance when I saw it, and I was just like, you know what, I had to get it. $500 for this thing. That was probably in like 2008 when I got it. Oh yeah, Earthbound. Yeah, I'm just like, God, it's so expensive for those. haven't opened my analog yet. I might sell eventually. It's an impulse buy. Hey, I mean, that's fine. I opened mine because I actually play with these. I play these on stream too. I actually been planning on the nights where I just play NES games. If I got enough, I would just play them and see if I can beat them. And that's what I want to do with some of these. But I don't have enough NES games to just go around and play. But yeah, you might sell yours. The SNES ones are not as high demand. If you had like this one as I did, or like the better one, Analog Pocket, those are higher in demand. Though, if you ever think of selling your SNES one, you either sell it now so that people can actually get it now because people wanting it, or you do it when they're out of stock, which can be like a few years from now. Oh yeah, the Analog Pocket. I got mine is a day one purchase, and I got mine when they first come out. Like, I bought it before they increased the price right away, so it's like, I am happy with this. But for some reason, my Analog Pocket actually has been deleting save files, so I've been trying to test it out to see why it's been deleting stuff. I don't know why my Pocket has been doing. It's out of stock now. It was supposedly the last print for Genesis and SNES. It's supposed to be the last print? Really? Well, again, I'm glad I got it. I'm going to keep getting whatever they get because they're one of the best. It's going to cost always a pretty penny no matter what, though. Anyway, gotta say yes to you. Yeah, that's right. That's the right answer. Please let us join you. Please let us go exploring with you. Please? Everyone's so earnest. You are so adorable. Of course you may. Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, sweeties, we'll go ahead and open the entrance. You can go in after we do. The cave is located southeast of here. It's great, Roy. Let's go and hurry in exploration. Yeah, whatever. This is the next part. Now he's crying. It's out of yeah, but I'm glad that I got like a lot of what was it like? I have a lot of consoles that I really like. I have funny enough, now I own the main like, for the first time ever, I own the current gen consoles of every single main game company. Nintendo, Xbox, and PS and PlayStation. Like Sony. The Xbox, like, yeah. And like, I've been wanting to get like an Xbox 360 and PS3 for like a while. Now I have them, but not the originals or anything like that. Well, I have original Xbox 360, but not the original PS3. I have a PS4, but not an Xbox One, and yeah, so forth. Like, this is like the current generation. It's like, I need to get like a bigger place to get. I want to get a PS5, but anything I've wanted to play is on PS4, so that's a good idea. It's actually fun fact. A friend of mine got me a PS5 without really asking me right away, and I was like, I was gonna get it, but he gave it to me earlier than expected. I got an Xbox because I wanted Xbox Series because I wanted the backwards compatibility. Because the one thing I hate about PlayStation is apparently they really hate backwards compatibility. The only backwards compatible PlayStation fully is the fat one. It's like, I can't even play PlayStation 2 games. I don't have PlayStation 2. Freaking like. This is my current PS2 collection. I actually recently got Xenosaga 3, which is one of the harder to get PlayStation 2 games. But yeah, these are my PlayStation 2 games, and I cannot play any of these because I don't have a console to play these yet. I'm in the process of getting one from a friend, but my god, I just wish I want to play some of these, but I can't because it's like, no, you you don't have a PlayStation. It's freaking ridiculous, honestly. My fat backwards compatible bricked on me, so I'm so upset. I think like you can like fix those like I've been actually been wanting to buy some broken consoles to try to fix them, and maybe try to sell some online to get some people to not only. Why is cast form like this? I feel like I have to do something for it. But yeah, I have like I wanted to fix some consoles and stuff, but I don't have a current setup for that. Why's cast form like that? My friend tried to fix it and he couldn't figure out this was happened 2008. 2008 and 2010, I feel like it's one of those eras where it was not well known how to fix certain things. Like, I would argue that, yeah, I'm gonna have to put some items away before I even go attempt that. I would argue that a lot of, I would argue, like, actually, a lot of, like, information how to fix things are not as big than they are now. So, in a sense, like, if you ever still had the console still around, I think it would be a lot easier to fix it now because there's so much stuff. I mean, I'm willing to fix, like, people's consoles or stuff if I can. I still need to go fix, like, some other stuff for my roommate's, like, consoles that he gave me a little bit ago, because I need to buy some parts. But I know I can fix some things with the right tools, and I just need to get my desk cleared off, and then it just be like easy fixes. Been so long I haven't. I think my friends might still have it somewhere. Yeah, no, if he still has it, you might be able to fix it. I mean, funny enough, like, Xbox 360 I have used to be like an old friend that had like 2 Xbox 360s, and I tried to see if I could fix them back in like 2010 as well, 2011 kind of thing. And it was funny because I didn't do anything. And I thought because like they both had like the red ring of death issue, and one solution somehow was to cover them in a blanket, and these were the original Xbox 360s. Cover them in a blanket and let them run to a point where they overheat, and then it would work again. One of them worked right away, and the other didn't work, so I couldn't do anything about it. So I was just like, I had to give that back, but he let me keep the other one. He lives about 8 to 9 miles away. I might get it back someday. Hey, you still guys are friends, and that's perfectly fine right then and there. Oh. Yeah, I want to fix consoles personally. I would love to fix a lot of people's consoles, even if it's like a very cheap price. The only issue is like doing that would be like shipping and stuff like that, and I don't want to cheap out. We had a towel fix. I remember doing a workaround. Yeah, there was like weird workarounds for a lot of consoles, and it's like it was so weird. Yet like it made some sense. Like it somehow worked into some of them, and I'm just like, how does this work? Like, these don't feel like it would normally work. Yet it does. Yeah, my friend was fixing my everybody's red ring until, and he thought he could fix PS3. Ah, yeah. Yeah, like the red ring of death was always like a common issue, and then the PS3's like I think the issue is with the I think the issue specifically with I think the issue with the PlayStation, like, because it's Sony, they don't reveal all their, like, how to fix certain things. And it's like you have to look through what people say, or, like, you have to figure it out by tearing it apart. Because, like, I think Sony is one of the harsher, companies to get any information about their things, because they are so tight on like the information. And that's the issue right there, is like if you want to try to fix it, you gotta either just tinker around or just get lucky almost, pretty much. I think that's the issue with like PlayStation consoles. I remember also where like PlayStation 3 was such a heck of a console to record in its own self because of their, what was it? Their it's because of just their what was it, HDCP output, and yeah, it was just rough. What the heck? A prize ticket? I'm getting like less and less each time. What the heck? I got like a worse item just because you gave me such a... Wow, I just got like a gold ticket to get a silver ticket to get a prize ticket. And a special band. Oh, sweet. I just want to finish this area dungeon personally. What's so special about Team Charm? I'll keep those. I'll keep that. I don't need that. I don't think I need that. I don't want that. And I don't want that. Take. I want to see my seeds. I got blast seeds, blinker seeds, doom seeds, heal seeds, hunger seeds, pure seeds. Oh, I don't have any reviver seeds. 3 reviver seeds. I got violent seed and vile seed. So I got 4 orange berries, blaster, 3 revivers, good. I'll use those zinc and stuff. So I got a good amount. I'm gonna use those zinc and stuff. Okay, cool. By the way, what time is it for you, Runaway? I don't know if it's like super late for you or not. I hope you're not staying up too late. It's only 2 a.m. for me. And I think this dungeon is gonna be a, what was it? I think this dungeon's gonna be a bit of a long one. 5 a.m. Jesus. You're in Eastern time, jeez. I hope you get some good sleep. I'm always up late anyway. You know what? I feel that I've been staying up all night for playing games. I could play like my Switch games. And try playing some of my Steam Deck. Also, by the way, this is another console I have. The $700 one. I think. Like, ignoring like the secondhand market prices of consoles, I honestly think my Steam Deck is like my most expensive console. Like, I'm not counting my PC as a console. I think my Steam Deck is like the most highest console I've ever paid for. Because technically speaking, I would say my NT Noir is probably like closer to $700, $700. Yeah. Yeah, so I've actually heard from a coworker that the $700 is the most worth, because apparently like the other, like, my personal thing about the Steam Deck is that it's $400. I think it's pretty fun, but they use cheap parts. So if you can try to upgrade it, like your storage and stuff like that, which you can buy for like $100 for like a terabyte or stuff like that, it might be worth. But to get the best pieces, you need to get like the $700 one, which is like the $650 one. I would say get them on sale. It's only worth if you really feel like you have a lot of Steam games and you just want to play it on like the go almost. But like it's only like has a Switch power source, like like in terms of battery life. It chugs sometimes in certain games, but only like because they're unoptimized. Because like I played Fireteam Elite for Aliens, and the DLC chugged, but that's only because like I think it was unoptimized. Yeah, but the Steam Deck is fun, but I don't know if it's worth the $700. Personally, I'm sticking with that. I might upgrade it to a terabyte, maybe, but I'm not 100% certain. I've seen that piece all around.
There you are. Well, this is Aegis Cave. Beyond this point is unknown territory. No one has ever been inside. Just imagine the mysteries awaits us. Isn't it exciting, darlings?
Hey, this thing looks important somehow.
It's got these oddly shaped grooves going in that gully.
It's got to be a trick. Absurd as has to be it. I'll solve the mystery. You watch me now.
Oh yes, we've asked everyone else already, but what's your team name? Elfighters. Ah, your team Elfighters. That's quite a good name. We're losers. I think we should be going our way. Let's see if we can find a big treasure or treasures of this place. Of course, we'll be disappointed ourselves if we weren't first. Teehee. Let's wish each other best of luck. Okay, sweeties, we're off. Yeah, we'll be the first to find the treasure. Yep, doof, we'll be step good, golly.
Hey! What?
Why check the stone marker? There's all these shaped grooves on it.
Ice. If you seek the passage, close your eyes, then submit your proof. Close your eyes. Nothing happened. Got your back. I need ice. I might eventually get one when I get more steady work. Yeah, I'm not in the steady work right now, so I have it, but
This unknown is powerful. Jesus. I don't have steady work either, but I've been getting like other consoles. Like I just pre-ordered the Duo for analog, and now I'm waiting. Oh wait, you know what? That reminds me. Like the Duo is one thing. I think I want to give it to Roy. And Duo is one of them. It's like the next console is coming in late. I know that there's another like few $100 like not console but a device I want to call that's Retro Tink that helps give like a higher what foods went bad. That's a lot of apples. Maybe if I This is why I have the clean Zorb now. Well, that was a waste. I hate these grimy fruits. I lost the... I hate those tiles. They always... the PC Engine is a really cool system. Like the game? Oh no, the PC Engine. You mean just like regular PCs, or what's you mean the PC Engine? I'm a little confused. Or is that in the Analog Duo or something? Because I remember reading it briefly, but I'm not 100. I don't remember the Analog Duo that well. I remember reading it, and I don't remember completely. The TurboGrafx. Oh yeah, the TurboGrafx. Yeah. Oh no. Sure, I'll name you. I'm just gonna Uno. Yeah, TurboGrafx I never grew up with, and nor I knew anybody who had it. So I only knew about the TurboGrafx from like AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd, and just knowing a little bit how it is. Oh, Team Fighters, you ended up back here. You have to solve the mystery of moving. It seems this is perfected. I would assume this stone marker holds the key. Surface of the stone marker is scored deep grooves, shaped like unknown. The cave is filled by hordes of unknown. There most certainly is connection between those facts. Seek passage, close your eyes and submit proof. Well, that's not much to go on. I closed my eyes, but that did nothing. We must overlook something. We'll go into the cave and search again. See you again. Don't I have... Oh. Ah, there it is. Why do I have a stone? Okay, so I need to go in and get all those ice. Got it. Whereas there was a PC Engine in Japan, there wasn't where it wasn't classic arcades. Yeah, you know what? Like that's something like I remember, like Japan. Oh, there's another one. I need that. Wait, that is not the. That's not. I need C. I need C. Where's C? That is not another one. Actually, I'll keep the stones because... You never know when they come in handy. Has arcade size spaceship is yeah. You know that Japan actually still has a lot of its arcade cabinets still around. It's funny. I really miss going to arcade. I only went to like a arcade that's called Nickel City back in Chicago. And which one is that one? Okay, I don't know that one. And I played like arcades, and like some of the arcades that I still want to beat is the Simpsons game, and freaking like the what was it? I don't want to gain too much unknowns. The Simpsons game and the Star Wars game. This engine outsold the Genesis and Mega Drive in Japan. Really? That one I did not know. Oh, I need you. Yes, I need that. One Side Plus is a little bit older. I did go to arcades when I was younger before they died out in the US. You know what's funny is that they died out in the US, yet they're making a resurgence coming back because we're in such a nostalgic type era. Like I see it like Dave and Buster's and stuff like that. That's oh. Yeah. Barcades are being popular. Yeah, there's like one in like Seattle where I'm at where it's like called GameWorks. So they were dying and they came back because people wanted it back. And it's like it was such a resurgence back. I think that's D. I need the unknown. Oh man, I need to find C. Yeah, but I liking the visits of like the old arcades and stuff like that. I'm not surprised the fact that Saturn outsold the N64. You know, I'm not surprised the N64 so poorly. It was like a commercial failure because not only how long it delayed, there weren't that many great games on it at the time. I like the thing about the N64 games I'll stand by is that they aged it's like that type of food where it's like they aged not the best, but they're still not the worst. It was carried by you. Like, I mean, Nintendo, like, well, a lot of like Japanese game company sales are literally carried by strictly like the Western market anyway. You know what's funny? I actually learned that Pikmin 4 outsold in Japan, outsold Final Fantasy 16. And I'm just like, wow. Nintendo games are really like something in Japan, but in the Western market, we're like the biggest sales for Nintendo and like Sony and other consoles. I mean, I'm like, it's still a thing that Xbox is still pushing out their own consoles to this day, even though there's not much they can do. Their consoles always just falls behind. I mean, their best console was literally Xbox 360, and that was a miracle because the Wii had its own problems, along with along with like PS3 too. Let's see. Even in still surpassing if it's any pop. Even still, that's surpassing it. It's saying popular. Yeah, no, like I'm honestly shocked too that it is passing Final Fantasy in its own right. In Final Fantasy, a game series that is like so carried by like its fan base in the other countries. I still need to play Final Fantasy. Like, I personally say like I want to play Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 14, the online. I haven't played a lot of Final Fantasy games, really. I still find it also funny thing is Final Fantasy is such a legacy name that Final Fantasy doesn't even mean Final Fantasy anymore like it used to. That's a G, I think. Well, that exploded. Yeah, I'm missing the C. That's the only one I'm missing. God, this dungeon is it's man, I hate RNG dungeons. I'm just like skipping over items now because I've gathered too much. I was not expecting to be gathering this much items. I'm just trying to find the C. Where is the C? That's like I. I see I so much. Where is the freaking C? No. I have I. Where is C? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so annoying. Why is there so much I? Like, is this game like I'm unlucky? Where is the C? I know what to get. And this is what I'm assuming for this dungeon. I kind of got spoiled with it because I was like, I need information. And I don't have my usual people to give me the casual information. Cool, I'm actually gonna be able to use an orange berry for once. That's a freaking eye again. Ah! Like seriously. All right. Let me just go down then. That's a D. I know that's a D. It's not the C I'm looking for. That's another D. That's an E. Let me get out of here, game. Be nice to me. Wait, is that it? Is that it? Is it? I do not even know which one you are. You didn't drop an item though, which sucks. Oh my god. Oh. I'm seriously gonna be like at this for a long time. The dungeon doesn't seem long, no. It's only long because of like getting the RNG to get the specific unknown you need. That is the only RNG aspect of this dungeon. Well, boys, I'm gonna be here for a while because I've been wanting to beat this. That is a D. Ugh. That's an E. As a T. I might need that later. I want to... I know I can get this. Yeah, because I spoiled myself a little bit what I need to get, and I figured anyway. But this is also one of those things is that it's RNG based, so I can't guarantee that I'll be able... Oh, that's a Reviver Seed. I don't think I even need you guys. That's like a P. Okay, so there is the outside, because it's... Oh, what is that? Oh, that's P. Not needed. So that's a P. I feel like that's a L. I got a lot of orange berries, so I can't exactly say I'm hurting on it. Oh, wait. Nope, that's an L. How could you keep missing? Hitmonchan, please. That's a L. It's still a P. That's still a P. Oh. Oh, hey. I need ice, but the sea, I don't, is there an actual, like, is there an actual, like, trick to this? Like, is there a reason why I'm not getting the C at all? Like, I've done this, like, 3 times, and it has not given me the exact unknown that I need, nor, like, multiple, and I mean multiple times. Like, I've seen, like, basically every other unknown. Not literally, though, because I know that I'm just exaggerating in that regard. But I am also like, this cannot be this bad. That's a J. I don't need you at all. Oh my god, this is gonna be... Okay, that's another H. I'm wondering, maybe it is a trick where I need to go through the dungeon multiple times in order to find the specific letter I need. If that's the case, then this is such a weird dungeon then. That's a D. Yeah, I'm like... Part of me would be like, I wish your brother was here. So then I was like, ask him, is like, oh, what's this one? Oh, what is that? But, no, it is straight up, this is straight up weird. I mean, I'm supposed to get it somehow. No, that can't be it. I hate the questionable confusion, because it's like I can't guarantee where I'm gonna walk. That's an X. You're useless to me. That's a D. I swear, like, if I find a C and it doesn't give it to me, I'll be pretty mad. No, I don't want. I already got like a few Uno or U enemies. I can't see. Oh, that was so weird. I have never seen that before. I learned new things from this game, but at the same time, let me just finish this game. I'm level 2, so that means I'm at least one more... What's with the whole... Nope, you not see. I'm not getting you. That's an E. That's an E. I already have E's. That's a good news. I have I's because I got plenty of those fights. Okay, so that's the end. I swear I'm just gonna be hearing the same music over and over again. With little to no progression. Wait, is that it? Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think you are it. Give me, give me, give me, give me. I really feel like what they should have done is, oh, that's it, that's it. That's definitely it. Give it to me. God, you took forever. Let's just keep whacking it. Yeah, finally you did like quick attack. Whew. Finally, jeez. Close my eyes. I got the stones. I don't know why C took so long. Was that's like really bad RNG? Like I genuinely want to know, was that just really, really bad RNG? Because I feel like that was bad. See, okay, yeah, see, that's what I thought. Is that, this is all Regigigas' area, because, like, Reggie's area, because that's what I saw briefly. Oh, well.
If you want to go on, show that you have the power.
I just always play with the filters on that one. Well, here's the thing. You are weak to fire. And so if you have Reggies, that means I got two Pokemon that are super effective to Registeel, and at least Regigigas, I'm pretty sure is in here. Regice is, well, basically I got two Pokemon that can like just fire, but I got two Pokemon that can battle every single Reggie in this game. Because there's only 4 Reggies in current time because this is Gen 4. Mysterious light enveloped Roy. The Guardian's permission has been granted. That was just easy. So what are you, Rock? That was good work. Yeah, the battle was superb plot. You're going to make us look bad, you know, this is so unusually exciting for me. But we'll beat you the next mystery. We're off. Okay, so this one should be Rock next by the looks of it. Alright, so yeah, I'm able to do that. So, let's see. I have O. I don't have C again. And my E's are gone? Weird. I thought I had E's. Yeah. So, I never had K. Well, the next one would be Steel, because Registeel. So I need 2 E's, L. I don't have an S or T. Oh, this dungeon, I honestly don't know how I feel about the dungeon personally, because it's an interesting concept. Like, concept-wise, it's interesting, but execution, because it's RNG based, what unknown you get, I can't. Oh, that's R. Wow, cool. Glad I went backwards. Well, then again, I need to go backwards. Like, it's an interesting concept, the point where I like the idea, but it's not executed well enough to say, like if you were like, oh, give it to the player after, like, I'm done collecting unknowns. I am not collecting every single possible unknown. Yeah, but if you were to say that, oh yeah, I want to give the player, just give them like 3 times and they guarantee the ones that show up, I think that is fine. I honestly, ooh, this is an item. I will give it to the bird. I think like after like a couple times they should guarantee the unknowns, but it's just like RNG based, really much. This is why I don't like playing RNG based games at times, just because it's like it's so heavy on like if you get to meet them or not, and like here's the thing. Even if we get to meet them, they may or may not drop. Oh, Hitmonchan! There's no guarantee that they will, that's an L. Do I have that one? Yeah, I do. I don't need you guys anymore. I don't need I anymore. Yeah, it's like if it's RNG based in the game to experience it, I honestly just feel like that's more of a hindrance than an actual fun mechanic. If it's like specifically story progress type of thing. If it's like just getting an item, I get it, like RNG for that specific thing only. That's L. That's an L. Don't keep missing Hitmonchan. Yeah, be smart. I need to get to the... There we go. I need to get to the next floor. Is that R? It must be the R again. Hey, look, an Oranberry. Thing I can't pick up because I'm too full. Oh, there's a C. I need that. And, of course, it's the only letter I can't get. I seriously hope the developers did not make this on purpose, whereas, like, certain letters are actually really difficult to get. That's a P stone. So I saw the C here. So that makes me think that there's at least a C available in this current floor. Question is, when will I find it though? Bum bum ba da na. No. Burp. Ba dum da dun da 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 dun da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun. This song is gonna get really old, 'cause it's a simple song. Oh, there it is. Give me that. Yeah, I don't need... I'm missing 2 E's, so that will be a problem later. Oh, hey. There's something written on the front of the stone marker. It appears to be a letter. Roy read the letter. To Team Elfide. As we promised earlier, we already solved this mystery and we're going ahead. This race to see who can get the treasure first, you know? Well, I think they purposely made it so that you wouldn't get the K early. There's also, like, the thing is that, does that mean the stone marker, does that mean the stone marker just always, wait, what? I have R, O, wait, where's my C? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Did it not pick up? That was a C, wasn't it? Oh. I am not in the mood for this. Oh my god. I swear I thought I picked it up. That's an M. I don't need an M. I don't need a P. Sure, let everyone get busy. Because this is how the controls are. And how come my character is the only one that takes like ages to get out of it? I'm so pissed by this game. I'm literally just gonna be blaming the game on that one. I really don't care if it was my own negligence or not. That should have just given it to me. I don't need an M. God dang it. What the heck? What are you? Oh, I will not know. At least my champ gets down in like one hit. I think each floor has a randomized unknown set, so I would have to keep going until I find a C set. I think that's how this is, and so that means that I've been super unlucky. The O is, that would be lucky if I didn't already have an O. And there's another O right there. Blinker seed, I don't need that. I really don't want another I because I kept getting you guys over and over. I think I just had really bad luck. I really think I just had really, really bad luck with the first one because there was no C spawning at all. So I have to keep going through this dungeon over and over until I find a C. This is not a hard dungeon. This is not a long dungeon. Well, I should rephrase that. It's a long dungeon because of this weird setup. Let me double check. Yes, I have everything I need. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I really don't care about whatever there is here unless it's like a specific I don't need you, so I will swap for that. Still have it, yeah. Rock RCK, yeah. Okay. Now I just need to find the stairs. If I find the E's, maybe I'll stick around, but as of right now, I'm just getting to the end. That's a B. I'm glad I'm kind of remember some of the unknown symbols here and there. I know some people have trouble reading them. It's like, I mean, I still have somewhat trouble with some of it, mainly because some of them look like a letter, but they're not actually. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Cool. I have L. I don't have an S. So that means I need a T, E, E, S. I have L at least.
Oh, he fucking knew, dude.
Oh, whoops, I pressed the wrong button. If you want to go on, show that you have the power. I said that in like my own weird voice. My bad, sorry. I think it's Fire Blast is not as good as Flamethrower now. No, it is. That long hit was proved it. Must have a good damage roll personally. So does that mean that if Chimcharm is ahead of me this time, did they defeat the Reggies? Because it's one of those things I am... Well, no. Actually, they had to defeat the Reggies because you need to get past here to get the Reggies. Alright. What does the S look like again? The other shape groups in it. S is like, okay, it says, yeah, okay. I have L. So that means I need to remember what S looks like, because TEE is fine enough for me. Oh, apple. I think that's an S, yeah. Looks like it. There it is. Yep, that's an S. So I got the S. Now I just need the T and EE. I can hit the front away. I can get rid of that one. What are you? I need to look at the picture again. I think that's a Q. I think that's the Q. Sleep seed. Well, I do know one thing. I don't need a P. Or U. So then I need to find an E place and then a T. I just need a T. T is going to be the harder one. Oh, there's an E's. That means this floor has E's. That's a T, 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 that's a T. Oh my god. If I get them all in this floor, then I'll be good. Oh my god, I really just the amount of unknowns I'm gonna get, I could have just recruited like an army of unknowns. Oh, why would I heck want an N? I love N because it's part of my name, biased. What are you? That's an E, okay. Honestly, I have too many sleeper seeds. That's a B. I don't want a B. Be me. There's a T again. I just need to find RNG. I don't want to recruit you because you're not giving the stone. If you gave me a stone, I might consider recruiting you. Luckily, I learned that the whole dungeon kicking me out doesn't take... it takes a while. I really want to get one more E and then a P. Give me that. I considered it and I didn't. Okay, cool. Let me double check something. Is it E, L, S, T? Okay, cool. I just need... Please give me that. Oh, I can get out of here now. Oh, I can get out of here now. Oh, let me get out of here, please. Actually, wait. E, E, L, S, T. Oh my god. Freaking... Oh my god. Why couldn't the ice dungeon be that simple? Oh my god, that was so freaking... I don't care if you're hungry, you're gonna get unhungry in a second. There's 4 floors on this one? That's new, considering the fact that... Oh hey, it's a C. You know, the thing that I kept missing in the first... Why couldn't you show up more often? God, I'm so pissed at this unknown. marker, oddly shaped grooves. Give me it. I've double checked every single time. Cool. Also, why did Gene Charm not show up? I guess they didn't even leave a note.
If you want to go on, show me that you have the power.
You really should be careful when you're fighting a fire type and a fighting type, or two fighting types. That was easy. Ah! Giga goo goo goo. I've been permission granted. Now where's the Regigigas? With three Reggies and like Gen 4, you can't have Regigigas without the Reggies now. What happened to us? Oh, we were fighting Registeel here, and then Medicham got into trouble. After that, I just don't know. I don't know what came next. So they won against Regirock, but I had to fight him again? Interesting. So weird. I can see that you saved us, though, Team L Fighters. You know, apparently the Reggies are supposed to be, like, level 46, and I easily swept them. That's how powerful my character is. Thank you, we were in a bind.
Oh, we owe you one, Team Hellfighters. If you didn't jump in time to save us, it would have been it for us.
That is so true. I'm afraid we can never repay you for this. I know. How about letting us back you up at some point, Team Hellfighters? Yes, I think we've already failed on our own exploration. Hehe. Don't worry, we won't steal your glory or your treasure. Let's go. Our goal can't be far off now. Better not hold me back. I have a lot of apples, honestly. The amount of times I just made random names for these Pokemon just because I just don't want to go too far. I want to name everyone, but it was like I can't bother naming some of them that much. I don't know why I'm like this. I don't need any more unknowns, so that means I should be able to just go bypass everything. I mean, I'm glad I get some escape orbs so I can maybe use them to revive our seeds. Wow, really? Also, why am I also using Fire Blast? It's not that accurate. Yes, everyone walk down. That's the smartest thing when you're confused. Cool. I'm poisoned. Whoa. think Hitmonchan can handle a little bit on his own. This is why I also brought in the heavy gun. But he really should stop missing. There we go. I really hope it's not back there. It is back there. God dang it. No, I have been asked like about 20 times for stupid unknowns. It's literally back there, the place I unwarped to, because I thought the warping would be like, oh, we're gonna get to the area, but nope, it was literally right next door, of course, and I couldn't get to anywhere else except to that cave. God frickin' dang it. Crobat. And that is a Pokemon I wouldn't mind getting. Funny how like the Bulbapedia's recruitment rate on these Pokemon, you don't get to see the official recruitment rates on them because I think they are missing information. Yes, I'm using Bulbapedia to look at things because again, like I don't have my usual people here to tell me, like ask them certain questions on how far and everything is. That's why I'm just like, I will have it open now just to see how far I go. So unfortunately I am looking at somewhat spoilers, but with how long this game has been going on, I don't necessarily feel that bad anymore. I really don't.
This appears to be the last chamber.
I wonder what I have to fight. Yeah, I knew, because you can't fight without fighting Regigigas.
Those who seek the treasure sleeping in the ground, show all of your power.
Just don't touch you, still alive.
I was busy. Was gonna head out. Thanks for letting me hang away. No worries, Runaway. I was like just talking to myself with a lot of things. I'm finally at the end of the dungeon, so there's that. I'm gonna be ending off soon for sure. But yeah, no worries. Take care. Sleep well. Get you some rest, and I hope you have a good weekend, dude. I'll see you later. All right, for sure. Thanks for chatting too. I love chatting with about games and other things too, for sure. Maybe another time we can chat. But yeah, take care. Stay safe, and I'll see you another time for sure. See ya. We'll team up for a battle. They're going down one shot, which is really, really good. I'm cringing. Why am I cringing? Wow, Team Charm, really? Well, I'm healed, thank you. I like how you do Healing Wish. Because you guys really are struggling. We've already defeated our half, and you guys only defeated like one. Oops. Alright, let's see how much damage I can do. 205! Lumpy fainted, no! I don't know how I'm gonna go on! Oh no! Actually, wait, do I need to pick that up? Let me pick that up. There we go. Yeah, this dungeon is not hard. Well, putting you dead. This dungeon was not hard. It was just a stupid RNG of the unknowns. That first ice dungeon getting the sea was not great. We did it! We did it! We did it! Yay! Now we did it! What is this? Dun, 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 dun. There's an inscription on the stone marker. Dun, 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 dun. Go check the stone marker. I'm stopping. Close your eyes and then let your aura flow into the ground. Will you close your eyes? Kind of don't want to, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's not Goku. Or spread to the ground. Grr, grr, grr. Woo! Where'd you kick us? We're in for another round. Hurry, we have to get out. So what happened to the rest of the guild? Is everyone all right? Seems that way. Everyone's here. What happened to the guild? Thank goodness. But the treasures. Yes, quite disheartening. Whoa! Look at that! It's a cave. Oh, that's... The ground heaves up and the gap opened to the face of the cliff. That tremor earlier, what Regigigas and others were protecting, this must have been it. We'll get it now. That's where they hid the treasures and they're undisturbed. Wonderful. This exploration turned out to be a huge success after all. Yeah. What happened to the guild? But the credit doesn't belong to us this time. Team Fighters, the credit belongs to entirely you. I'd say it does. The treasures in there all belong to you. My word, weren't you something special? It was like seeing Wigglytuff in action in the old days. So, shall we go to our next adventure, old friends? Yes, let's do that. And we enjoyed ourselves very much, Team Fighters. It was fun exploring with you. If we keep up our explorations, we may run into each other someday. But next time, we'll beat you to the treasure. Take care. Send our love to Wigglytuff. At least they know what Wigglytuff is like, and they don't have like too much heart thing to them. But full day, now exhausted. We should sleep now. Rest up for a good day tomorrow. Okay. Okay, that is it. So after we beat them, that is open. So that must have been like where the treasures and all that stuff I have too much stuff. So yes, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm already halfway through the post game. That's the good news. So doing the one section per stream has been really nice. My god, that was super RNG. I was expecting this to be a 2-hour run. No, this is straight up became a 3.5-hour run. Oh. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm not gonna continue on because again, I'm not doing another 12-hour stream. I'm already pushing past 7. I was hoping to get done by 6 hours into the stream. I honestly don't know how. That was short-ish, but it took a little bit to get there, which probably took an hour. That only took long because of that stupid ice cavern. So really, honestly, I really can't say that was my favorite section just because of how RNG aspect of that was. So really, I'm at a loss for that, really. Well, either way, that is done. The section is done. The next aspect of it is to beat oh dude, Mdun is live and Skoino is live. Ooh, I know I've rated single before. Oh man, some people are streaming. Oh man, I did not know Twitch was unmuting people, because I usually mute people. Yeah, I haven't talked to Mdun in like a long time. I think I'm gonna raid him and say hi to him. So honestly, yeah, but it's been fun. Thanks for people who were in the raids. Thanks for people who were in like the chilling out and talking. I appreciate it. I don't think I'm gonna be streaming. Well, I might be streaming tomorrow, maybe. I know it's not D&D because we're on like another 2-week hiatus, so the earliest will be the 20th, but the 27th may not be happening. I don't know yet. So we will see when we will get back to D&D streaming. As of right now, I think I'm gonna still try to go focus on other like I think what I'm gonna do focus on is going to other games, because I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming more Mystery Dungeon after hours, or just go to like some of the other story ones like Ghost Trick and Great Ace Attorney, because I still need to start bitching those. But I might consider, since I'm so close to being Mystery Dungeon, it's gonna take like 2 hours each time, almost. I might consider trying to push for 2 next time, so we'll see. I do want to play another single player game because I've been at like some single player games for a very, very long time. I just need something fresh at this point. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I hope everyone takes care of themselves. You know where I'm at, Discord and all that stuff, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their night, and I hope to catch you in another one streams, whether it be mine or someone else's. Please, everyone, take care, and everyone have a good night. I would have ended so much sooner, but God, this took too long. Anyway, everyone a good night. Everyone take care, sleep well,